a brutal beatdown, and he's got another one. AKM is back.
Justice reigns from above.
Hello, Blizzard Arena, and welcome to another week of Overwatch League. That's right. It's time again, Monte Cristo, to get the games rolling. Doan Monte here to kick things off with a fun match. It's going to be NYXL versus Philadelphia Fusion, two teams with a lot of history with each other.
Yes, they have a lot of history with each other, but coming into this season, of course, it's going to be their second matchup as Atlantic Division rivals, and we saw them earlier this stage, but that did result in a very convincing 4-0 win for the NYXL.
Sure did. Let's take a look at our season standings overall. You can see two lines in there now. The top 6 get into the overall playoffs automatically, whereas 7 through 12 are going to need to play against each other later on, way down the line in the season to get those last couple spots. So now we're going to kind of be able to keep track of that. We have line technology now, Monty. We have the power.
We have lines. I'm so impressed. But I mean, that is going to replace the 7 through 12 tournament is going to replace our stage 4 playoffs that we had last year. Should be really exciting, and it should benefit teams that are looking really strong or hot during stage 4 that can climb into the 11th, 12th ranks to at least get a shot into the season playoffs.
Those are going to be some hype matches, man. I'm excited about that. Let's take a look at our stage 2 standings as well. You can see Fusion down in 10th place. Our opponents, NYXL, way up at number 1. Obviously, a win would be huge for the Fusion, but it's I don't know if it's going to be any easier this time around. It is a little bit tricky when you're playing against a team like NYXL. They just don't lose. But that said, when NYXL do lose, they generally tend to lose to Philly. They've actually lost to the Fusion more times than any other team in the league.
That's right, but that same Philly is not what we saw last year when those wins were occurring over the NYXL. The 3-tank, 3-support meta, as we talked about on Watchpoint earlier today, hasn't really suited them, and even though they had a pretty weak strength of schedule, they did at least put up some good results going 5-2 last stage, but this stage, when they've had a stronger strength of schedule, it's been rough going.
Absolutely. Well, it's time to welcome our first team to the stage. Let's hear it for the New York Excelsior. This is a team that's been looking pretty unbeatable. In fact, they haven't lost a map since week 3 of stage 1. How about that?
Yeah, impressive. And they did have a draw against the Shanghai Dragons, but
they didn't lose.
They did not lose, and that streak currently sits at 20. They're looking to extend it today. And as we heard our desk reference Pavane, their head coach, earlier on, saying that they really care about the map differential. They don't want the Titans to get very far ahead of them in that regard. Make sure that they are firmly in control of that #1 seed in the Overwatch League.
I like it. Well, their opponents looking to gain a bit of ground in the league overall, get a bit of revenge even. Let's hear it for the Philadelphia Fusion. Philly Fusion taking the stage right now. Neptuno leading the way, and a player that's actually, he's very close to being our first player to get over 3 million healing in the league. That would be quite the milestone to reach today.
Yeah, that's he is #1 in overall healing in the Overwatch League in terms of totals that we've had from both regular season and playoff games. Of course, that was helped a lot by him playing predominantly Mercy in the 2018 season.
Does help. Hold and right click all day. But that said, if anyone knows the balance between healing and doing damage, it's Neptuno for sure. He's got probably the most kills on Mercy.
That's true.
I'm just kind of guessing here. I don't have the stat, but I'm guessing
that's true.
He's probably got the most kills on Mercy out of anybody in the league too. But let's shift over to the tanks right now and look at our main tank matchup in this series. We're going to have Mano versus Sato, and the results lately couldn't really be more different for these guys. Mano, of course, a stalwart defender, the Guardian, the greatest tank we've seen in the league in a long time, and Sato just seems to be out of sync with his team in a big way in the last few weeks.
I mean, he's never meshed with this team since his debut. I feel very confident in saying that. Let's take a look at some of these Winston stats right now. Final blows per 10, significantly more than Mono, even though Sato's doing more damage. Teamfight win percentage, 14% higher. First death percentage, about comparable, 20% to 22%. And first to limbs, higher for Sato actually, but the real interesting statistic here is even though they die first in a team fight about the same amount of the time, Philadelphia in stage 2 on Winston has a 0% teamfight win rate when Sato dies first, which is something that needs to be fixed on this Philadelphia Fusion roster.
That is mind-blowing. I mean, you're going to lose your tank first once in a while. You got to be ready for that. Let's take a look at our map set presented by Toyota. Going to Busan first for our control map, then Anubis will be our assault map, Blizzard World for hybrid, and finally Gibraltar for escort, and perhaps that fifth and final tiebreaker map if we need it.
That's right, and none of these maps were played between these two teams in their last series, so we're going to get a fresh look right here. Of course, Busan, a map where many teams like to play multi-DPS compositions, not generally on this point, but if we hit some of the later points, which of course we'll get to at least one more in this best of 3 on control. This, however, looks like it'll probably be just some more 3-3 compositions with Reinhardt, as it usually is.
Could be. We have seen New York throw out Flower early on in some of their series here, but not going to be seeing him at least in this map yet today. And here we go. New York Excelsior, Philadelphia Fusion kicking things off here at the train station on Busan. And maybe some changes. Jonak might be going back, and yeah, as they see the 3-3, he probably wants to switch to Zen, doesn't he?
Yeah, they see the Rein 3-3. They want to switch to Zenyatta, and they want to switch to Reinhardt to Mirror. The presence on the point with the Reinhardt and the frontline pressure with the Discord orb from the Zenyatta does make it very difficult to play tanks into that.
Absolutely. Jonak getting a little bit of healing done on Mono, but more damage done as he takes out EQO immediately. Nene a little bit low health, but New York pushing forward slowly. He's got a chance to gain a bit back more. Carpe does demech Meko though. Sato down, that main tank out of the way, and New York charging forward to try to take this point early. They're going to get some control percent pretty quick, I think.
I mean, Jonak gets the first pickoff of the engagement, and that makes all the difference for the NYXL. The slow pushing. NYXL plays a very defensive style with the 3-3. They wait for you to make a positional error, and then they pick you off, as opposed to playing aggressively. So they will stand there and just wait patiently, trying to avoid taking damage all day.
It happened again. It happened already. We didn't even get time to finish talking about the last fight. Already Sato is dead in the next one. NYXL, no trouble at all defending that one. And it's like you said, man. I mean, you find the way to sort of peel people off, get those picks, win the fight early. And like we were talking about before the match began, Sato really oftentimes finds himself away from the rest of his team for some reason.
I just think it's not that Sato is a poor player, it's that I just don't think he has synergy with the rest of this roster.
Right. Mono with a big Earth Shatter ready to go. I don't know, maybe that's too much of an assumption to assume it's big, but it might be. It is Mono we're talking about. Graviton Surge used early on. They're going to throw him to self-destruct. Holding it out, no kills out of the self-destruct. Grab comes up from Philly now. Sound barrier for Philly too as they try to push forward. Oh, that Shatter did not end up working out for NYXL, but Philly lands a good one though. Sato coming back with a counter Shatter rather, that could lead to enough kills to take the point. Looks like it will as Jonak goes down. They should be able to flip it.
Yeah, good focus fire from the Fusion there to take out Mono even through the sound barrier. They die on the point to get a few extra percent. Now sitting at 74. Philadelphia used a lot of resources though. EQO coming in here on the flank. It's going to be a nice stun right here.
Yep.
Very good on the animation. Nice flank by EQO to get behind and make sure that that shield bash landed.
New York on the high ground now. Dropping down. We'll see if they can separate any of the tanks. Sato getting low already. EQO in trouble as well. Carpe all charged out, but it doesn't matter. The damage is done. Sato and EQO down already. New York just kind of dropped on him like Batman and knocked him out.
That's right. I mean, what are you saying? New York very decisive on that approach. They know Philadelphia doesn't have a whole lot left. And look at Boombox dies very close to that Transcendence. We'll have it up for this next engagement though, but it will also be matched by Jonak. Both teams with the Graviton Surges available to them.
Didn't take them long to flip that back, did it?
Nope.
Not really. Philly trying the same thing here. Up on the high ground. We'll see if maybe they can find an angle onto New York, but they got to do it fast. 90%. Friend YXL already. There's a grab onto Philly. Mono diving in, gets charged out of it though. Sato finished off by Mono's charging counters. Now there's a Shatter. Knocking him down. No kills from the self-destruct from Poco. Not something you say very often. Meanwhile, a back cap attempt by Philly, but the team is all split up. There's no way they can win this and hold the point. Even if they do back cap it, not going to happen. It's just going to be Neptuno trying to keep the point alive. And he will for now, but it doesn't look like anyone else from Philly is going to get there. That's round one going to New York.
Yeah. As expected, New York looking dominant here, wanting to keep that lossless map streak alive, and they extend it, or can extend it on this next point to 21.
maybe putting the cart before the horse a little bit, but NYXL, man, I think it's easy to assume that they're going to win maps. That's kind of just what they do.
Yeah, and overall, 16-5 eliminations in favor of NYXL. Nene did not die at all on that first point. We'll see if he can keep that up.
Now, when you look at Philly, do you ever wonder where Fraggy is?
I constantly wonder where Fraggy
Me
is.
too.
In fact.
Me too. I wonder where Fraggy is. It's times like this, you kind of wonder if some of those synergy issues might be solved, but we'll have to wait and see as we get things started on Shrine. Fusion trying to tie things up here. Same compositions from both teams. Going for the Reinhardt 3-3 again.
Yeah, surprising we're not seeing any kind of DPS changes, but NYXL, they won very handily in the mirror, so why would they change at this point in time if they are super comfortable taking this matchup?
Well, Mano getting really low. It is an early kill for Philadelphia Fusion. They managed to take down the main tank this time around, and they will get the point early. Mano saved by that Zarya shield. Looks like he can maybe keep him in his back. Oh no, he got D-Mac. That is going to be annoying for New York to deal with.
Yeah, fantastic late D-Mac there. He's just going to have to reset into the members of the Philadelphia Fusion. But all of a sudden, NYXL have to wait a lot longer and give up some control percent here. That's just an excellent stagger on the side of Philly.
Yeah, good start for Philadelphia Fusion. Box needs a little bit of healing here. Hard to poke your head out on a map that you know Jonak is lurking around in on the other side. The right clicks are looking for you.
That's right.
I'm over with Sato now.
Yeah, Poke just coming in from both teams. They're trying to build up some ultimates here before committing to this fight. Sato nearly there at an Earth Shatter, same with Mono.
He's got the Shatter. Reinhardt mind games again. The shield games. Animo down early. Boombox finds a big pick. Something we've seen him do a lot in the past.
Yeah, Neptuno, they're in the backline displacing the members of the NYXL.
Sato got stunned there. That was a dangerous moment and it left his team open. The counter shatter doesn't land anything, but New York not really able to follow up. In fact, Jonak has to use the Transcendence to keep his team alive. So Shatter's used, but no consequences really other than that Transcendence used by New York.
And Philadelphia maintaining a large ult bank, and crucially their support ults available for Nene's Graviton Surge.
Oh, here we go. Grab now from New York. Mono just goes and charges Sato right out of it. Jonak finishes him up. Now sound barriers for both teams. Meko, D-Mac, and there's Meko down from the self-destruct as well. Mono gets the healing just in time, and EQO is down, but that said, Carpe roasting everybody on that Zarya. And New York sent back to spawn yet again. Philadelphia Fusion, they're on the verge of 100-0ing this point.
Yeah, looking strong. Ult economy, they've really kept it together. I believe that was the first fight we've seen where Sato died first, where they actually won the team fight. So turning that around at least in that team fight here on Busan. Now NYXL, gonna try and make one more attempt here, but they don't have a lot, just a sound barrier. Philadelphia, they'll get a rally, but that's gonna be about it.
New York walking forward now. At least keeping the point alive anyway. We're into overtime in favor of Philly. Mono waiting for that shatter. There's the sound barrier. They're going to get aggressive here. Got to keep somebody on the point, but they got to push Philly back too. Mono just trying to walk past. They take Neptuno down early. Mono pulling back. They actually flipped it. They flipped the point. They just muscled Philadelphia off there. And the thing is, I mean, I guess if you're Philly, you can take the fight you want to take. You've got time now. Yeah,
you have time, and also you don't want to fight them. You need to back off when the sound barrier is in play.
Sure.
Because the thought process there is, okay, if we let you have the point, the sound barrier will fade away, and then maybe we can make a re-engagement and take it back immediately. So they had to leave it there, and they've got plenty of other opportunities to come back and try and recap right now. They only need to win one fight in order to take this point.
That's the thing. Philadelphia moving around the right side now. A couple ultimates to use. Might just try to draw some out from New York first, though. Come back stronger with the next fight. Let's see. Hiding around that corner. Trying to show the shield as little as possible. There we go. Graviton Surge comes in. They're going to remove Carpe from the equation. Philadelphia losing their damage early on. Poco self-destruct doesn't find anybody. Sato's Earth Shatter didn't find anybody. And Philadelphia Fusion sent packing again. They're gonna have to regroup it. Okay, sound barrier, they're committing now, trying to go in. Poco D-Mech though, New York not phased. They've only got the grab left on the Philly side. I don't know, man. What do you think about that commitment there? Jonak fragging out meanwhile.
Jonak fragging out, but when we saw them come back in, they realized that the NYXL didn't really have a lot of tools, so I think the sound barrier was definitely the right call. But the pickoffs at the end of that fight were absolutely crucial. NYXL now, they're looking to win one more fight and take this. We are going straight to 99-99.
I mean, it's going to come down to the Zaryas, really. I mean, both of them are going to have the Graviton Surge for the next fight. Carpe's got his, Nene just got his now. And it's how those teams play around that ultimate that I think is going to make the difference.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
Yeah, Tool's better though on the side of the XL. They have a support ult to get through the grab.
Grab used early, rally comes in, and they can't get to the point. Philadelphia unable to even contest. That is a 2-0 for NYXL.
And there's not much they could have done there without a support ult, Doa. Unless they ate that Graviton Surge, they really didn't have enough time to even get back to the point. NYXL, though, with the run back.
I mean, maybe you split somebody off there, but then you leave them vulnerable. It's a tough call. Either way, Philadelphia looking to tie it up on our next map right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Огонь по готовности! Огонь по готовности!
I think at this point we're pretty connected to each other, New York and us.
저희가 작년에 필라델피아랑 붙었을 때 처음으로 졌었는데
The Philadelphia Fusion bring a massive upset.
They're like a big rival in the league.
Philadelphia Fusion is going to the grand finals.
그런 마음 좀 엄청 많이 생각나요.
그때 너무나 큰 아픔을 받았기 때문에 시즌 2 때는 저희가 그만큼 아픔을 주려고 합니다.
NYXL with a 4-0 victory. Absolutely crushing it, taking the series in dominant form here.
The first time we saw them, they just play better than us. Nothing to say, they just outplayed us. But I think now this time we are like prepared and we have a good chance to win.
그래서 지금 좀 탱커를 많이 기용하는 메타일 때는 그렇게 세다고 생각은 안 해요.
They're very decisive and calculated with the way they play, playing around cooldowns, playing around positioning. We're not like that. We're always playing for the best win condition we have and how to completely annihilate the enemy team.
필라델피아에게 한마디 하자면은 필라델피아 저번 주에 이미 4대0 내드렸고 저희가 뭐 기분이 너무 좋으면은 1점 정도는 드릴 수 있습니다.
작년에 저희한테 이제 씻을 수 없는 아픔을 줬는데 이번 시즌은 저희가 이제 되돌려 드리겠습니다.
I mean, we have shown that we were able to beat them before. We're gonna do it again this week.
If we keep going the way we're going now, I think we're gonna stomp them. I don't think there's any team that can stop us.
A map in a tough meta for them, but we still have at least 3 more maps to go here today. Time enough to come back against a team they've beaten before, but man, they're gonna have to do a lot if they're going to take out Mono on the NYXL. This guy is insane, dude. Like, one of my favorite things to watch, we were talking about this during the break, is when New York grabs, he picks somebody important and charges him out of the grab, isolates him for the easy kill. Like, watch for it. He's getting really good at it.
Yeah, and that's actually the primary reason they were able to run it back on the second point of Busan was because he was playing so well around their Graviton surges, sometimes taking Carpe out at the start of those fights. And I really believe that Mono is for me at least, the sort of MVP candidate of this season already. I mean, he has been absolutely outstanding, which is why it was so weird when in the stage playoffs, he seemed to be underperforming. But if we look at his regular season performance, I think this guy's the best, most well-rounded tank in this league that we have right now, and is a front runner for that MVP title.
Definitely agree. We're going to the Temple of Anubis. It's going to be our assault map. Place where Philadelphia Fusion will try to tie things up. They had a pretty good round on Shrine, but in the end, New York just kind of had their number in that last fight. You know, they needed that Lucio to speed boost the team in there. Ended up being too grouped up, caught in the grab. But hey, it's a new map, it's a new opportunity, and we'll see if Philadelphia Fusion can run it back now.
And I love this strategy from the Philadelphia Fusion. I think this is a really good strategy overall. It always was popular, not with the Torbjorn, of course, but with the Widowmaker, and of course the Junkrat and the Orisa to create these bunkers. But the reason why I think it's particularly good on Temple of Anubis is that it makes it very hard to take point A. So you're committing your resources to a point A hold instead of playing 3-3 and committing to a point B hold. But the advantage is that your ult economy isn't ruined even if you get capped fast, because the Junkrat will be able to get the Riptire, which can often buy you enough time to generate ult charge for the first fight on B. Then you switch the rest of the composition over to the 3-3.
Yeah, can at least buy you that time anyway. New York Excelsior over to the Reinhardt 3-3 as they see what they're up against here. They'll go on that Torbjorn. And we'll see what Philly's got. Now, Junkrat can certainly do a ton of damage, even to these heavy tank compositions. He can blow through shields pretty quick. Carpe on the side trying to find a shot.
Yeah, the adaptation
needs to be careful here.
Is the Ana here from NYXL, so that they can play around the cooldown of the Biotic Grenade, just like they did right there by throwing it down and then going through. That is a great job on the Orisa pull right there. Hulk comes in.
Pulls him in for that last finishing damage that EQO needed. Carpe, of course, helping out from the side there, too. And now New York gonna have to wait for their main tank to come back, and it's gonna be a swap from Mono onto the Hammond, actually. He's going over to the Wrecking Ball now.
I mean, he has to. There's no other way he can rejoin his teammates without them going through the main choke again.
Yeah.
So he either has to go to the Hammond or to the Winston, and the Wrecking Ball here is more disruptive to push people off the high ground, and that's what he does.
Jonak domes EQO with a couple of orbs. Mono finds Boombox as well, and suddenly things falling apart in a hurry for Philly. Poco does finish off Libero, but now it's on Carpe to try to carry yet again.
Nene is nano boosted. He's going to melt through everybody on the point. That's it.
That's what happens,
Carpe can shoot at people right now, but he has to actually contest the objective, and that's not going to happen. So this time, that was just such an intelligent swap from the NYXL. Mono takes control of the high ground, and that pile driver disrupts their entire hardpoint composition.
Well, it's so distracting, too, for Philly to deal with. I mean, that's what allowed Jonak to probably find that angle on EQO as well. Everybody's looking at the Wrecking Ball.
Very nicely done. And now NYXL, they have to swap back to the Reinhardt. You'll notice Philadelphia Fusion have also made those changes, but they're not going to have anywhere near the ult charge. Jonak and Animo already there with a couple of support ults. They're going to be able to pop those and just run in.
Yeah, they just got to poke a little bit.
They know Carpe doesn't have Graviton, so there's no need to save support ults right now.
Why not get aggressive here? Going in now, Mono gets stunned, but they're still going to walk forward anyway. Damage onto Sato, he's in big trouble. Transcendence used by New York as they move forward, and Boombox on his own. Jonak finishes Sato off as well, and once again, the members of Philly Fusion dropping like flies, and it is looking good for New York here on point B. Poco D-Max taken out. Now the control begins to grow. The question is, how long can Philly delay?
This is dangerous. Nene wasted his grab.
Mono isolated, man. They might be able to take him out. He's in a little bit of trouble. Gets back to his team at the last moment. Sato pushed way back here. Has to jump back in, but he does have his Shatter available. He's going to use it. Knocks on Meko. Mono down as well. Goodbye, Nene. And New York can't hold on. Philadelphia Fusion gonna hold for now.
After some very intelligent Overwatch, NYXL used Nene's grab on the far doorway on the left side as you're looking at the point from the attacker's perspective.
Yeah, that was odd.
And I think that they thought that would delay long enough for them to capture, but nobody ended up walking that way. And the Philadelphia respawn came in. They went through the opposite doorway and got back to the point. And by that time, they did have support ultimates available. NYXL had burned theirs. And now Carpe sitting with another Graviton Surge and nearly 100% energy.
Close call for Animo. Carpe nearly got him. He's going to drop the grab as well onto New York. Transcendence from Jonak again. Self-destruct's coming in for both teams. No kills though. Mono and EQO down. New York without their main tank, they're going to have to back away. They get Boombox, but you can't really fight that short-handed, although maybe with all of these kills now you can, but I don't know, man.
I mean,
they're backcapping here.
I mean,
oh, they got it!
They backed Doa. They had another Graviton. It was
right in there.
Only the Brigitte and Neptuno on the Lucio that were up, so they only had to catch 2 members. There was no defense matrix.
They only
just
need that
hold
one
them off
tick.
the point.
All right.
There you go.
There it is. New York getting 2 points. Philly tries to equalize when we come back. Smooth moves by NYXL, and they will come away with 2 points on their attack on Temple of Anubis. Nearly 4 minutes in the time bank for them, 3:59 to be precise.
I mean, it's crazy how fast the XL adapt to situations and how well their communication works to identify the win conditions that they have with 1 tick remaining and the players and ultimates that they have on any given point. And that was always their strength, was in-game adaptation. You can beat them temporarily, but it is very, very difficult to take them out. So what you're going to see here is several members of the XL go over to the point, and then he just jumps over, and he knows there's only 2 left alive.
Yeah, just grab
Used
him.
to grab there, 3 left on the point. You only need that 1 tick. Happens very fast.
Credit to New York as well for turning that fight around after Mono died pretty early in that one. Don't forget, on Sunday, Disney XD, Vancouver Titans versus Boston Uprising. That should be a fun one. Should be cool. You can watch it on tons of places.
So many places.
But mostly Disney XD right now. Here we go. New York Excelsior on the defense. Philadelphia Fusion gonna try to get something going on their attack.
So they're scouting with the Wrecking Ball. They're gonna see no Reinhardt. That's what they're checking for. And then, are they going to decide to go back and get the Reinhardt because they know it's a Winston 3-3?
Yep, Carpe over to the Zarya.
Nope, they're running Winston themselves. All right, so Philadelphia opts into the Winston 3-3 mirror, which is what was supposed to be better for them that we thought coming this season.
Right, we were thinking about that because we know Sato is generally a stronger Winston player, but it's definitely not panned out for Philly the way we thought it would. Here we go, they're gonna jump in now, trying to get aggressive on the Jonak, on the Ana. Echo, a lot of damage onto him, but Jonak can heal him up quite quickly. Mono protecting as well. Nice sleep dart onto Sato, too.
Oh, anti-heal from the Ana.
Could be big if they can finish him off. Can't quite do it, it seems like. Mono on the run. Has to avoid going back in now. And they're just trying to finish off these tanks. They've got a couple of really low Carpe in big trouble here.
Yeah, the Ana really helping out, though. And as long as these fights are scattered and they can't effectively focus fire with the Discord Orb, the healing from this Ana is going to be absolutely huge. And Jonak, he's nearly there at an Anubis already. That's going to go straight onto Mono. Really good grenade onto the supports.
3 people hit with that anti-healing.
But Mono's down.
In a lot of trouble. Yeah, Mono down. Philadelphia weathers the storm for now. They can get aggressive here.
Sleep onto the Diva though. Poco, another anti-heal down just onto the Diva.
Sato down now. They finally finish him off. And Philadelphia without their main tank. It's going to be the Nano Boost onto Libero, helping him get that rally. Not even going to need to use it yet. He's just walking forward. You know, when you don't have a main tank, you can always Nano Boost your Brigitte, right?
Just make a main tank.
Basically, you just create a main tank in that situation, yeah.
Yeah, walking up right there, flailing away, getting that healing.
Yep.
Of course, rally now available. Poco gonna have a lot of trouble here because there's no good place to throw yourself off the map to reset to get your mech back. That means a long stagger where Poco has to build that ult charge back up to 100 to remech, and that takes precious seconds off the clock.
And New York getting, or rather Philly getting pretty close to 6 ultimates though. New York should have theirs fairly soon too. Another decent biotic grenade from Jonak just to delay Philly a little bit. Sato getting aggressive here though.
I mean, Jonak's already coming back up towards another.
Sato, he's down already. They get Mono as well. The Winston's trading places. Turning to the Afterlife together. They're gonna go for it anyway. Crabs used by both teams, sound barriers as well. Philadelphia Fusion still trying to approach the point with all the ults they've got. Both teams using everything. Poco still though, saving that self-destruct. Maybe an opportunity here.
Nano Boost again
Another
on the
Nano
Libero.
Boost. That's right, on the Brigitte again. But again, your main tank is down, why not? This time though, it might not be enough as Jonak taken out by Boombox and a bit of revenge there in the flex support position. Goodbye Libero, and it looks like Philadelphia might be able to flip this one now. Yeah, they're gonna get the point at this point.
Yeah, they will. Just torturing Mecco a little bit.
As you do.
Just body blocking them in the doorway. Not able to actually stop this point. Oh, that's actually... Oh, okay, finally. Have to eliminate the Diva because she finally gets through the body block doorway. NYXL switched over early for Mono onto the Reinhardt just to get a little bit of extra percent there, even though they were losing that fight. That's not going to help right now, though, as Sato bounces him into the rest of the team. This is looking great for Philly.
Philly's getting pretty good at killing Mono here early in these fights. Libero down as well. Good chance for Philadelphia Fusion. If they can win this fast, they can actually get more time in the time bank. They're in the grab. No follow-up, though. New York scrambling here. Philly might have it.
Yeah, Philly also still has a Graviton from Carpe, so
all right.
They should be looking really good to take this point with approximately the same amount of time that we've seen from New York.
It's looking like that. Libero swapped to the Batiste, but they couldn't quite keep everybody alive with the Immortality Field. Now New York back again, EQO down. Maybe a chance. Poco explodes, takes out the both supports with him. It's going to be another sound barrier for Philadelphia Fusion as well. Mecco and Nene kind of on their own here. Sato manages to finish off Mono. And they're holding. New York buying as much time as they can.
Oh, they got
better time bank, and maybe with these kills coming through, New York can do it. They've got the Mei there as well.
Oh, what a beautiful stall from New York.
What a save. Jonak in with the Mei again. We know what a boss he is on this hero. Carpe, though, the clutch Carpe trying to come back in with 2 kills himself. Sato's still there with the Primal Rage, and now they've got Jonak right where they want him. No, they don't. He's got his ice block, and Mono packs on the Reaper.
It's only Sato on the point.
What is this? New York, how did they hold that?
And this is the same kind of play that we saw from Jonak in the stage playoffs when they were attempting to make that comeback against Seoul, where he absolutely saved them on Volskaya. This time, big swaps from the NYXL, and they are one of the best, if not the best, stalling team in this league.
Crazy. Well, Malik's going to be happy because here comes the Reaper. Mono swapping over to that one. You know, sometimes the main tanks play DPS in this meta, too.
That's true, especially... I mean, the nice thing about playing Reaper on defense on this point for the stall is you have access to that big health pack so easily.
Here we go again. So it's only one tick that Philly needs, and they're getting things. Nene down already. Philadelphia Fusion looking pretty good in this fight so far, and they might be able to claim it right here. It's looking pretty good, and they will get it. So New York able to buy probably like another minute off the time bank with that pretty insane defense, but Philly do get the job done. 2 points for them. Quick break, and when we come back, we'll see who takes it all in time bank. So, guess what? Philadelphia Fusion. Well, I was going to say, but then you interrupted me. Philadelphia Fusion gets the job done on their attack. 233, though, left in the time bank for them. Less than New York, who has 359. That is the extent of my math skills, Monty. But it does mean that Philadelphia Fusion has another chance to try to get a few points here.
Yeah, and look at that. That stall took 90 seconds off the clock. Now, of course, we can talk about what it also did, which was reset their ult economy, which made it easier for Philadelphia's next push to work.
Sure.
But 90 seconds is a lot of time to stall on an assault point B.
Oh yeah, I think you're pretty happy with that if you're New York.
And this time, it will be the Winston-based 3-tank, 3-support once again. This is the smart move from Philadelphia to switch off right now. Let's see what they're going to change to. It will be a Wrecking Ball.
Oh, here we go. All right, it's DPS time. Carpe on the Hanzo, EQO on the Pharah. Neptuno swaps over to the support the Pharah on the Mercy, and Boombox on the Ana now.
So the reason why we're seeing this is, a lot of it is because Jonak is on the Zenyatta. And if there was an Ana on the other side, I think they would be more reluctant to play this composition because Ana adds damage at range, especially to Pharah here.
Oh yeah, especially with a player like Jonak. Your Pharah is not going to be safe.
Yeah, but as it
is... Neptuno out of the air. That said, Philly looking a little bit better in this attack here. Jonak and Mono down. Echo D-Mech, things looking okay for Philly.
Yeah, there is no resurrection, but we are going to see the Mercy get back faster. Actually, just a swap to Lucio. This is smart from Neptuno.
Okay, Libero, though, walks in, takes on Carpe. Now EQO trying to finish off Libero. Sato's going to help out with that one. Philadelphia's still looking okay on this push here. New York comes back. Mono back on the point again. But EQO, nobody's stopping this guy from raining all the justice he wants from above here. That said, Boombox down, and at the end of the day, Pharah can't take the point.
No, and you have a very low Wrecking Ball right now that can't stay on the objective.
Yeah.
So NYXL able to fight their way back onto the point, and they actually use the Winston well to take out EQO in the air. That's really their only option for reliable kills on some of these long-range heroes. They've got to jump onto that back line.
I mean, maybe you're going to have a nano-boosted barrage for EQO. You know, maybe that's your opportunity here. We'll see. They're going to try to start taking the point now. New York waiting for their moment here.
They're just going to rush them.
All right, there's Anubis. Yeah, Neptuno down already. Somehow Brigitte flew through the air and took him out. EQO, barrage from the side, but New York getting all the kills anyway. Jonak finishes him off before the rockets even land. And New York having no trouble shutting that one down.
I mean, their change in tactics is so smart. They just say, you know what, we have a Transcendence. Let's just rush their tanks on the ground before they poke us for too much damage from range.
Philadelphia trying to get back to the point. Can Neptuno get there? He's taking a lot of damage. Another grab keeps Philly off the point. I feel like we've seen that a lot today, Monty.
Yep. I mean, yes, they keep doing it over and over and over again because it's been so effective against
why not?
Why not?
You can't get there if the grab's keeping you off the point. So that's about that. You know, the scariest thing about New York is that they're the total package, right? Where they've got the attacking skills, they've got the adaptability, but they've got the resilience on defense that few teams have too. The ability to kind of keep a cool head, make the right hero swaps at the right time, know who's going to be stepping on the point to delay. Like, New York just has everything going for them right now, it seems like. Yeah,
they're fantastically talented as a team, and we're seeing that in this match. And honestly, like, I think Philadelphia is playing pretty well so far today, but
I'd agree with you.
New York, I think, is playing near perfectly, and that makes it obviously very difficult to overcome them. I do agree Philadelphia Fusion running this composition on defense again because you're all in on point A, and you still have a chance to win this map as long as New York doesn't go above 45.3% on point A. Philadelphia Fusion will win. So entrench yourselves as much as possible, make it difficult for the XL to actually move forward.
Right. And this time, don't get distracted if there's a Hammond involved. That's the key. That's what kind of made it fall apart for Philly last time.
That was a very intelligent adaptation from the NYXL.
Let's see what they've got this time. I think we're going to see a little bit of scouting first. Mono running in there to see what they're up against. And yep, gonna pop back, and there are the swaps. They're going to go with the Winston 3-3, Jonak on the Ana.
Yeah, they have to have the Winston. They didn't play actually the Winston last time, but it's just so much more effective because you can challenge the DPS heroes by jumping onto them, or the support heroes.
Right.
If they ever slip up, Carpe, of course, known for his Widowmaker skills, taking shots there, nearly picking a member off. NYXL resetting their cooldowns, and we're going to see that Winston jump in first.
Oh, he's looking for Animo. We'll see if he can find him here. Jonak. Oh, Carpe lines that one up perfectly. Sato down though. There's a res. Neptuno bringing the main tank back, but now Carpe under pressure. Mono super low. Can he get back to the health pack? Gets the healing just in time. Carpe has to run to the other side, but they can chase him.
Yeah, problem is getting this Ana back to the rest of the team right now. She doesn't have any movement ability, so she has to walk, and that choke point, they know exactly where the Ana is with the infra sight. They can see her right now through the walls with the Widowmaker ultimate.
I mean, Jonak's just gonna have to kind of duck and weave his way back to the point right now. Libero on there.
They got to sleep. He swept Boombox, and then they jumped on him. Jonak with a play from the choke.
We got to see a replay of that. Libero takes on Poco. Rez coming in. No, it doesn't quite happen. Sato down. Here comes the tire. It's going to need to be an amazing one. But it's not going to matter. New York on the point long enough anyway. And New York will take Temple of Anubis.
That was a beautiful duel between Jonak and Carpe at the end there. But again, the setup from Jonak on the first attack on A, he manages to take out the Junkrat. On this attack, he manages to sleep start Boombox, and instantly Mono is there to help him pick up the elimination.
New York with the 2-0 lead. Halftime when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Огонь по готовности.
Excelsior looking to continue their streak of dominance, and so far, so good. They're up 2-0 over the Philadelphia Fusion at the half. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Halftime. Malik here. We got Brandon Zoe here at the Blizzard Arena. Guys, I don't know what else to say, but the New York Excelsior are just too good.
Yeah,
they really are.
It's an issue, yeah, an ongoing issue, in fact.
Okay, sure. All right, well, let's jump straight into Busan. We got to see some Mono versus Sato. How'd you guys like the matchup between the two main tanks today?
I mean, honestly, I don't want to say it that way, but I'm still going to say it that way for the lack of a better phrasing. Unsurprisingly, Sato has been picked up first a lot. New York really punished it. And they always kind of laid out a bait. They always laid out one of their players, and then Philadelphia jumped in, mainly Sato jumping in, and they got they got completely rolled after that happened. And they did it so often that you would think that Philadelphia Fusion eventually is catching on to that trick and is not going in aggressively. But yeah.
This is something that Monty was hitting on in his cast, actually, about that Sado is kind of being caught out of position, not because, you know, he's a bad player necessarily, but because of the chaotic nature of what Philadelphia like to play. Sideshow also holds the exact same opinion on this. I think there's a narrative that's kind of going around that Sado isn't a great main tank right at the moment, but he does fit the playstyle of Philadelphia, where they like to capitalize off of set plays quite well. But statistically, you can see here, with a one-sided game, you're going to get one-sided numbers. And Mano obviously outperforming him in every single category here when it comes to it.
Right, and that was just the first map. I do want to point out that, you know, Mano had a good first map, but then if we're going to go ahead and move on to the second map, which was, you know, kind of Mano not playing up to par. He had the most deaths that he ever had on Anubis. What do you guys think of some of the play we saw from him? And more importantly, Jonak, who was super popping off that map.
Yeah, Jonak absolutely popped off. And as you said, Mano did not underperform, but I think the Philadelphia Fusion did a fantastic job at actually isolating him and picking it off, which resulted in a lot of deaths. But he was the playmaker here. Jonak rolled on his own. I think he hit like 7 out of 7 sleep darts in the end of that game.
And it's kind of crazy, actually. We talk so much about Jonak that it's almost like underwhelming when you see him pop off like this. But we need to put it in perspective. Like, this guy is absolutely ridiculous. And even here, when he flexes over to the Mei, a role that he occasionally brings out, always dominates on this role. He seems to excel on these heroes that have the kind of like medium to fast moving projectiles, like Zen, like Mei, you know. His aim is just incredible.
He took a little bit faster in the very end against Carpe.
He really did. Like, he was just on point the entire game. It's 7 enemies slept. This is just ridiculous. It's absurd. And I'll go into a bit more detail because he was running Ana into Poco on the Diva with the Defense Matrix. And Defense Matrix's ability, you know, we may have some viewers at home, might not know, you know, it negates a lot of these projectiles. It negates them completely, it eats them up and takes them out of the game. So when you've got a Diva in a game, normally you don't play an Ana. But New York, they ran the Ana anyway because it's the long sight lines coming into on Temple of Anubis. But just absolutely destroying on that one roll, which is so crazy to see. And it kind of gets a bit underwhelming. You know, you get used to Jonak performing like this on a regular basis.
He's
we are spoiled,
us.
but he is crazy. He's just an absolutely unreal player all around.
Yeah, Jonak singing the softest lullaby, putting all the competition to sleep. All right, guys, moving into the second half, we got Blizzard World coming up next. Is this the map that the Fusion could turn things around on, or is it going to be more dominance from the NYXL?
I mean, honestly, I think realistically, you would always expect New York to win a match. However, I do think that the Fusion played really, really well, and I do think they can go the distance. So it's not impossible for them to actually win on Blizzard World, but I would still go with New York to make a safe bet.
Yeah, right now I'm definitely feeling New York a lot more when it comes to this. I mean, I don't want to underestimate Philadelphia. We know that they're capable of bringing a lot of these fights to New York Excelsior, especially in map 5s. This is the team that was known for taking it to map 5. We know they're capable of reverse sweeps, but New York right now are just kind of it feels like they are miles ahead in terms of their understanding of how to play triple tank, triple support, which is the dominant composition. And Philadelphia, they've got a lot of catching up to do. I mean, if I was to point out one individual thing that they can fix between this half and the next, I would definitely say Carpe's bubble usage, I think, could be improved a tad. Sado's survivability, he looks a lot worse than he should, I think, because he's being pressured so much and the bubbles are being forced out earlier or later.
All right, well, we'll see if the Philadelphia Fusion can push it to a map 5. We got the second half coming up, so stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch League. I know, it's a little bit tough for Philly right now. I get you, man, but don't worry, we've got a few more maps to go. And, you know, like we said earlier, Philadelphia, if you compare how they're playing today, you throw out the scoreboard, look at how these guys are actually playing in the maps. I think they're looking better today than we've seen them look in Stage 2 so far.
Yeah, I agree. And they came in today saying that they felt more confident in their play this week up against the NYXL. We've seen that, but it hasn't actually translated into winning a map yet.
Not yet.
And so NYXL's lossless streak continues, now sitting at 22 maps since their last map loss.
It is pretty insane. We're going to go to our escort map next. It's going to be Blizzard World, a place where Philadelphia can once again try to topple NYXL. And if it's going to happen at all, it's going to happen today, I think, in Stage 2 for Philly, mostly because this is the last match they play against New York, but also because I think they are genuinely looking pretty good today. So,
and we'll see. They are 2-0 this year on Blizzard World, so
true.
Small sample size, but so far undefeated for the Philadelphia Fusion, so perhaps...
Okay. In esports, we love those sample sizes.
Very small.
Attackers
And this might be their best chance to take a map in this series. NYXL came in saying that they want every map. Now they have at least a very serious regular season challenger in the Vancouver Titans, and that means map differential, considering that both of them are so far undefeated in the regular season. Map differential is what is going to separate these two teams.
We've seen some sneaky stuff with Symmetra trying to teleport people onto hard points in the past. We saw one on Paris the other day.
Yep.
Does Meko maybe have a similar plan here?
No, they're scouting with it.
Yeah, all right.
They're scouting with it.
I got all excited, man.
Yeah, you scout with it and then you switch off to the Lucio, who can get back to the scene quickly.
Yep.
And wall right up into that high ground, saves you a couple seconds, but at this level of competition, those seconds matter.
Sure do. They're forcing Philly to jump down. Sato right in the middle of everybody here. New York, not stopped though. They're just gonna keep pushing forward, doing a lot of damage to Carpe. Oh, Sato though does take out Libero with the fire strike.
Big elimination on the Libero.
Oh, huge. Oh, but Sato down now too. Jonak finds the final blow. And New York might not be out of this fight yet.
Hey, Mono has to charge out because they need to get their tank line healed up. But the reason why NYXL was playing so aggressively is because they did so much damage to the frontline HP.
Right.
But key pickoff through those barriers onto the Brigida changes the fortunes of the NYXL, and now they have to slow push.
Well, Sato is nearly back, but New York's been able to get a nice little ult advantage too throughout all of this. Jonak has his Transcendence. Boombox still 25% away from getting his. Now the grab comes in for New York. Nene, D-Mex, Poco, Jonak with the Transcendence just to keep everybody safe here. Shatter comes in, doesn't get a whole lot done for either Reinhardt, but New York getting the kills, and they should get point A.
I mean, just a great delayed Transcendence there from Jonak as well.
Yep.
You could really see how New York Excelsior get every benefit from their abilities. That is an unnecessary death from Nene.
Oops.
And that is going to reset his Zarya energy. You really don't want to do that.
That's pretty rough. Yeah, you don't want to give that all up, especially having such a solid point A. They never really ended up having to reset at all.
I mean,
they kind of had to wait a little bit.
They got greedy trying to make space on the map after the payload was released upon capturing point A.
Yeah.
End up paying for it a little bit.
A couple ultimates available for Philly. We'll see how long they can hold the door. That's not a Game of Thrones reference, but I guess you could take it as one. It could be.
I mean, Philadelphia needs to go. They should realize that they have this rally advantage because of the first death from Libero.
Sunbury coming through, Sato down. Jonak, another early kill on the tank. He seems to always find that final blow. I appreciate that.
Jonak is having a very good day.
Sure is, yeah.
As our halftime crew.
Libero down again here. New York getting aggressive. Looks like they might see what they decide to do. Okay, grab from Philly. They're committing here. Self-destruct from Meko. Trying to counter that one. Nobody goes down. Mono, though, taken out by Philly, and they're going to have to reset.
They do have to reset. Fortunately for the NYXL, Meko does not get demeched on the Diva and does manage to make it back to the bulk of his teammates. Trying to play around this corner right now, using the cover to eliminate the enemy incoming damage. Now they're back on the payload, trying to move forward.
That's the plan. Oh, Nene finished off Sato. That was a big earth shatter from Mono to start that one off. And now Jonak just padding the stats a bit.
As you do for Jonak. He's the master of the cleanup here on the NYXL. 85% back towards his trance. We are going to take a look at that earth shatter that occurred as Mono comes through the doorway.
Whoa. Yeah, just walks past Sato.
Actually,
Sato
and a stun.
Okay.
Yeah, stun onto Sato there. So great setup as they realized he was stuck in the corner. So isolating him with some of those crowd control abilities was easy, and you could see the teamwork of the NYXL there instantly reacting to that situation.
A lot of displacement going on for sure. New York still trying to push ahead on this cart now. Philadelphia, again, a good amount of ultimates to use. See if they can maybe get a hold like they did early on.
He was trying to bait the grab there. Yeah. That's why he was flicking. He was trying to do what Fury did.
So you're not Fury yet, buddy. You got a chance. There's a grab coming in for New York, though. Gonna go for it. Now the grab gets used by Carpe as well. Support ultimate's coming out. There's the boop. But Mono gets his shield in front of the self-destruct anyway. New York has to dedicate the sound barrier to this as well, though. Backing off for just a moment while the dust settles before pushing forward again.
We can see Philadelphia play. Yeah, there you go. Play aggressively with the sound barrier.
Yeah, you've got the advantage in the ults there. Oh, nice stun, though. Coming in from Philly as well. Doesn't look like they can follow up on it.
No, they can't because Meko threw the self-destruct, so they couldn't actually walk back.
Yeah.
Good zoning self-destruct to prevent further damage onto the NYXL.
Poco pretty low. The health total starting to drop a little bit for Philly here. They are pushing forward. Meko actually needs to get saved here, still in his mech, but just barely. Sato off left side, he's getting aggressive here. He's starting to walk forward. Got to be careful with that. Carpe does demech Meko, though. They did get the kill onto that Diva suit. So that will force New York to back off.
Yeah, they're still just going to poke right now until they can get another Diva mech charged up onto Meko. They're nearly there right now. Meanwhile, Philadelphia Fusion sitting on a Transcendence, so they'll be able to answer Nene's grab.
Grab immediately from Philly. Grabs on both sides, in fact. The kills coming in. Now the Transcendence is used simultaneously again. I feel like it's a challenge to see who can use the ults at the same time. There's a shatter, though, from Meko, walking forward with the Fire Strike, but again, not a lot caught by that on the Philly side. New York having to back off on
the other way.
Rally. Now they're going back again. It's a reverse tug of war here over the point right now. Boombox finally demechs Meko, though. Mono in a lot of trouble as well. Can they keep him healed? Barely, but either way, they need to back off. Need to get Meko more time to get that mech back again, which is right now.
Another grab.
Again. Here we go. Nene pills him up so fast, and now New York getting the kills they need. Wow.
So patient. The NYXL. Both teams really understanding how to sequence their ultimates right there. Both grabs come out. Nobody uses trance because there's no follow-up damage from either team while they're both grabbed. Then both teams re-engage with trance, right? And it goes back and forth in mirror.
Sure.
But Nene eventually gets the advantage through another Graviton Surge, and now they're rolling.
Well, speaking of advantages, New York pressing theirs to the maximum. Getting a few kills as they roll forward into point C. Getting a lot of distance on that payload now.
That was actually a very well-played fight by both of those teams. The really big difference was that the second grab came up before the second Transcendence from Boombox, and that little advantage as NYXL grounded out ended up being the difference maker, and now they're back in.
Here we go again. Meko self-destruct coming in. Carpe's grab got eaten by Meko. He ate the grab and then he self-destructed. Carpe did finish off Animo, but Sato down, so maybe New York can keep pushing forward here. Jonak, ooh, the dual Boombox. Jonak down! Boombox takes the 1v1, but Mono comes in from behind with the hammer, and New York still coming out ahead of that fight. The payload has not stopped.
Yeah, payload's moving, but they've got to get Jonak back. They have sent Animo back with his speed boost to go ahead and move Jonak to the objective just a little bit faster. Try and taxi that Zenyatta. Philadelphia Fusion has a lot of time to get set up here on the final point.
That's the plan anyway. Here we go. Rally from Libero, giving them that extra armor as they push in. Nene finds a spot to plant the Graviton Surge. Sandra comes out. Carpe! Oh, he got shattered and taken out. Libero capitalizing on that one. There goes Sato as well. And this looks like it's the end of the attack run for New York. They should be able to finish this one off. Poco did get Mono down, but there's enough members of New York. Maybe Boombox with the Transcendence could buy enough time. They're scrambling. They're trying anyway. New York does give a little bit of ground. Man, that looked so bad for Philly at the beginning.
They lost the Reinhardt, so they don't have the presence on the point to push it forward. So there's not a lot of opportunities for NYXL in spite of that Shatter.
Shatter again comes in for Sato.
Oh, just barely saved.
He saved him with the double support ultimate. I can't believe it. Poco self-destruct. Mono gets a shield up in time. Can New York turn it around? They're gonna have to do it shorthanded. I don't think they can. Mono and Libero down at the last moment. Philadelphia Fusion have found the key to winning this defense. They lose Carpe, but there's nobody left from New York besides Anubis to contest this point. And that's gonna be it. Philly holds at the end of C.
Best we've seen from Philly so far.
It's great. Neptuno just shrugging there. Like, yeah, I healed.
Yeah, he played well, and so did the rest of his team. Ult economy looking good from the Fusion.
Quick break, and when we come back, Philly goes on the attack. Are behind them, but so far Philly unable to get a few map wins. That said, great defense at the end of point C on their Blizzard World defense round. Now they go on the attack with a real chance to win this map and get back in the series and New York Excelsior's win streak, or rather not lost streak.
Not lost streak.
Maps. Not lost streak, that's right. They do have one tie versus Shanghai, but they have not lost a map. Meanwhile, go to that website right there to get your tickets to the Atlanta Reign homestand weekend, July 6th through 7th. Should be a good time.
ATLReign.com will be our second homestand weekend. Should be quite exciting.
Yeah, we got Dallas next week.
That'd be really fun. Yeah. So this time around, though, NYXL, like you say, trying to keep their streak alive. Currently sitting at 22 since they lost their last map. Philadelphia Fusion did prevent them from taking point C.
True enough.
So an opportunity here for the Fusion to win outright on their attack round.
Poco throws in the Sonic Arrow. Gets a bit of information about what New York has waiting for them on the high ground there.
Ryan 3-3, not too terribly surprising.
Nope. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Or I guess if it is broke, keep using it.
Yeah.
Either way.
Either way. It's a little bit of a conundrum when we talk about video games.
That's right. Philadelphia Fusion getting aggressive on the point right now, trying to burn down Mono's shield. They finish him off here. We're getting a lot of support from his team.
That is a massive biotic grenade onto the front line of the Fusion.
Three members of Philly having to back off there. No healing coming in.
Jonak already at 70% of an ult. You got another one!
Yeah, Poco and EQO hit with that one. And it's so tough because you can't push in with half-health team members. Sleep Dart gets absorbed by the Zarya shield, but Jonak buying his team so much time already here on point A.
And he's already got a nano, so if they push in, that's going to go straight onto Nene most likely, depending on his energy.
Or Libero, who knows?
Yeah, or Libero, who knows?
It's happened a couple times. Yeah.
It's been a bit weird, but it has been effective.
If Anubis jumps at the right time, maybe. Oh, here we go. It's going on to Mono instead, though. Hammer coming in. Sato deciding to take Anubis for a ride off the edge of the map. But meanwhile, New York pushing forward, and it looks like Philly's going to reset.
Yeah, but that kill from Sato is actually beneficial to them because of the respawn distances. Lucio's going to come back right now, so Philadelphia going to be at full strength as we see Animo trying to get back to the point. Looks like he will get back just in the nick of time.
He's going to get there pretty quick. I think the loss of ult charge is what's going to hurt them more than anything, because Neptuno's about, only about 6% higher. I thought it'd be more of a difference. I guess New York's not in a bad spot after all.
Yeah, only using the nano boost too, so they're approaching 5 other ultimates to use.
Yeah.
And nearly 2 minutes drained off the clock already.
They're pushing forward on Philadelphia Fusion now. Rallies on both sides. Boombox waiting for a chance to use that Transcendence. It's going to come soon. There's the grab. Transcendence a little bit. Help. Make sure he can heal up in the right. Now the grab gets used on the other side, and Jonak down. Good pick by EQO. Nice shadow though from Mono. Oh, self-destruct. Gets 3, Meko. The timing between the shatter and the self-destruct.
And the charge as well.
Beautiful.
Taking Sato out of the equation while he was on the ground in the stand-up animation. So there's not going to be any barrier available to the Philadelphia Fusion. Beautiful bomb from Meko.
Yeah.
No place to run.
What a turnaround. That's just one of those clutch things that New York does to you sometimes. You lose Jonak, which is big, but then you make a play like that.
And Philadelphia, they've got a self-destruct. That's not going to be a useful ultimate right here unless they can use it to carve somebody off. But Excelsior right now all standing in a line on the point, so self-destruct not going to be effective, at least for the engage. You have to go back to poking right now. Nano boost again available for Jonak.
Yep, 1 minute remaining now for Philly's attack. They need to make something happen quickly, need to try to build some ultimates as fast as they can. Sleep Dart comes in onto Boombox.
It's Boombox again through everyone.
Well, that time, sometimes you just throw that Sleep Dart into the mass and see who drops. Boombox lucky he didn't get taken out there, even despite being behind his team. Now Philly moving in again. Nano boost onto Mono. Gets the damage done. Nearly has that shatter available. He's got it right about now. Gotta watch out for that self-destruct. Drops the shatter. Oh, but he can't get the shield around in time. Poco grabs 2 with that bomb, and now Philly in there. 6v4. And looks like they're going to be able to get point A.
That was an excellent punish with the self-destruct. They figured out a way to use it by really just playing off of the nano boost that the NYXL was using.
Yeah.
Now, normally, one of the reasons why we see Ana returning in this metagame here in Stage 2 is that the nano boost creates so much pressure. You put it on that Reinhardt as the defensive team, and they have to walk into you in order to contest the point. Sometimes you have to burn support ults just to survive it, which means that the Graviton can be more effective when it comes through.
Now, speaking of grabs, here they come now. And Boombox uses the Transcendence to keep everybody alive. That said, Poco removed from the grab and taken down. His mech out of the way. Philadelphia Fusion pushing up anyway.
And they staggered him right there. It was just Meko looking at Poco. Poco was in a remech animation, and that's when they decided to take him out, just to maximize their 6 versus 5 time here on the payload.
Looking a little bit rough for New York right now. Libero down early. Carpe charged up completely. There goes Mono. It's going to be the end of that fight right now. New York finding a way to regroup. But it's going to be some good distance for Philadelphia Fusion here.
Yeah, they keep picking off Libero too, which I think has been, when we've seen them get big pushes on the payloads, or when we've seen them get a lot of time on capture points, it has been with Libero dying first. So that has been a focus of the Philadelphia Fusion today.
New York with some good ultimates available. Dropping down now, trying to separate the members of Philly. It's going to be grab, gets eaten by Meko. He was ready. Meanwhile, Nano boost over onto Mono. Going to claim some kills as they finish off that fight.
Now, Philadelphia escaping, though, with the sound barrier. And considering we saw both the Nano Boost and the Graviton, that's a lot of the pressure from the front line gone for this next fight. We're going to take a look at Meko right now. Just going to... he's
behind him.
Yep.
He's behind him the whole time. You can kind of reach that defense matrix over the Zarya's shoulder and eat the grab that way.
Yeah, it was a very narrow timing window too, because the grab was on, then off, and it looked like the grab had just come up again.
Yep.
Before that Graviton surge. I don't think I think that's an understandable mistake from Carpe.
It's tough to avoid having it get in a defensive matrix sometimes. Defense matrix, right? Here we go. Shatter, ooh, doesn't get anybody really. Now they're going to get aggressive. Sound barriers, Philadelphia rushes in. 25 seconds or so remaining as they try to finish off B. There's a grab from Nene. New York trying to finish this fight off. Let's see if they can. Ooh, self-destruct. Doesn't really get the kills they were hoping for now. It's going to be one coming in, and Poco finds Mono. Again, Philadelphia Fusion using that self-destruct to finish off the point. Get the kill on Delibero as well, and balloons flying into the air joyfully as Philly finishes point B.
And they're not going to decide to commit to Transcendence to that. NYXL knew it was a losing battle, and they've taken so much time off the clock, 90 seconds right now. Mono gonna get bopped around right there. That means free movement on the payload.
Yeah.
Libero and Mono could not make it back to their teammates from the other spawn room. Split spawned. And now Philadelphia Fusion, they've got to win basically every fight from here on out with their time remaining.
Pretty much. They've given themselves a chance, though. That box right there on the floor is where they need to push the payload to win the map. There's a grab. Okay, Carpe using it. Libero down again. Jonak can't keep him alive.
That was a really good use of bubble from Carpe. He cut off line of sight by using the bubble to prevent the Transcendence heal from coming in.
A great start from Sato, too.
Yeah, they're being proactive right now. Go ahead and use that Graviton aggressively. You know you're coming up on some key ultimates, particularly your support ultimates. You know Nene has the Graviton Surge, but you have the tools to deal with that. And you're going to have a counter chatter as well. So this is it. This is do or die for Philly.
They are so close, man. They got to win one more fight, and then they can maybe get back in the series here. There's a grab from Nene, though. New York trying to turn it around here. Transcendence used by Boombox. Mono walking forward. It's a nice fire strike there, everybody. Not close to that shatter, though. He wasn't able to really do anything with him for it. Ooh, Mono, sorry, shield on him to keep him alive, but he is low health. Looks like Jonak might have the Transcendence just in time, but Mono down. He couldn't use it. He couldn't use it in time to save his main tank. And Philly with a real chance here. Oh, EQO down from the self-destruct. Here comes the sound barrier now from New York. Can they use this to push forward? The grab not doing a whole lot, although it does see Mekmeko. They have done it. Philadelphia Fusion. Boombox and Sato get the kills in the end. And that is the end of the streak for New York. Unless Mono can get a miracle hold here. He can't, and Philly back in it.
Animo tied in his sound barrier animation, and that is going to be a Philly win here. The undefeated streak of maps from the NYXL ends at 22.
Philadelphia definitely a bit of momentum out of this map as we look ahead to map number 4. Do not miss it. We'll be back with more Overwatch League right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
The streak is over. Philadelphia Fusion ending New York's streak of not losses in maps. To clarify that, they did have a tie there. And staying alive in this series, and a lot of that due to Poco. He had some pretty good pulse bombs at the end there, but it was a team effort, and you know, we came into this match saying Sato, you know, looking out of sync with the rest of his team, and I think that did prove true at times in the first couple maps. But overall, Philadelphia looking better than we've seen them so far in stage 2 today.
Yeah, he did have some really good punishes with the self-destructs, and that opened up opportunities when it looked like Philadelphia was down basically 3 times to must-win fights at every single point.
Yeah.
And that opened up opportunities, but they're able to push it through into the end. And, you know, NYXL, they hadn't played Blizzard World yet this season, so I don't know how much practice they would have gotten on it in the previous weeks, as they may not have been focusing on that map. Philadelphia remains undefeated on Blizzard World at 3-0, so they take their advantage and they run with it. And now, here we are on Gibraltar. This is a map that the Fusion have not played, and the XL have played once.
So, what you're saying is we've got a huge sample size again, huh?
That's right.
What wild conclusion do you want to draw from that?
XL will forever be undefeated since they are 1-0.
Unbeatable on Gibraltar.
Absolutely
you heard
unkillable on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Good to know. Sato getting aggressive. Philly on the offense here as the payload gets moving. Just a regular run-of-the-mill escort map. Push the payload as far as you can, obviously. Sato hiding. He can hide behind that very well, though.
Yeah, and we are going to see if Philadelphia Fusion can use their better mobility on the Winston to pick somebody off on the NYXL. The Reinhardt on the opposite side, they're going to be trying to play down here.
It's a lot of damage from Sato, actually, on the New York Excelsior. Behind them, just roasting the Mono, though. Gets Carpe, they walk forward, they get 2. Sato watching his team fall around him. The agony of the Sato.
Yeah, I mean, he did get a lot of ult charge, but he also donated a lot to Mono because so many of his teammates were in that room just getting swung away at. And you have to come down here to push the payload, and you have to challenge a Reinhardt in hammer range if you want to take this. Yeah, it is hard to watch. And, you know, Sato needs to get that primal rage up because he needs that disruption to push people out of this underpass here.
Another push coming in for Philadelphia Fusion. New York really close to many ultimates, actually. Philly's got a couple on the way, but New York's going to have him first. New York pushing forward here while they get the Transcendence on Jonak, actually. EQO goes down early. New York pushing ahead with the support ultimate. Boombox in a lot of trouble. Ooh, gets protected a bit by his Diva. Anubis goes too far forward, gets punished for it. And now New York in a little bit of trouble as Jonak down as well. The grab gets used by Nene. Are they really trying to turn this around? Nene, you madman. What are you doing? The shatter from Mono. Gets a few back. Go gets Boombox with the self-destruct. Are you kidding me?
What a great shatter.
What team will do that? What team uses their most valuable ultimates after their 2 supports are dead?
I mean, they realize they still have the damage, though. If you can manage to hit that shatter and that graviton, as well as the charge into the wall into Carpe, you can punch through the rest of that team, and now NYXL are all back on the card.
Philadelphia, the Fusion, the ones with the ultimate advantage now, though.
I mean, they need to be proactive with this Primal Rage. They've got to use it to push people away and out of this close quarters fight that they are repeatedly losing to this Reinhardt.
Carpe's really close to the grab, too. Nearly has it. All right, Primal Rage activated by Sato. Boombox down early, though. Nene somehow managed to find the kill there. Sound barrier for New York as they disengage. They're just going to wait out this Primal Rage. Why not? Nene comes back in for another one.
He's got another grab, too.
Yeah.
Carpe didn't have an opportunity to use his graviton towards the tail end of that fight. Boombox picked off so early, was trying to drop down on the other side of this underpass to make a play, but...
Nene is just one of these assassin Zaryas, right? You see him. I would say Carpe is one of them, too. Sinatra, where they're just going to kind of walk forward and find those picks with Zarya, which is not a pick-type hero, but still. You get that damage built up, you can roast people pretty quick.
Yeah, you have excellent mechanics. You can eliminate people very fast. Graviton on the drop down.
All right, and trying to combine the Elsa counter shatter comes in from New York. Meko does get the kill on the EQO early. Poco finding nobody with that self-destruct. Mono gets a pin on the Neptuno, and now it's just Nene evaporating everybody. 25 seconds remaining now for Philadelphia Fusion. The momentum from the last map thoroughly crushed.
I mean, they have to win 2 fights as well. The payload is in a position where they can't just win 1 fight unless they get an epic stagger and really push through before NYXL can spawn, regroup, and put together a defense at the end of A. It's going to be very difficult for the Fusion.
This would be an incredible defense for New York if they're able to stop the payload here. That never happens. Philadelphia Fusion pushing forward. There's the grab as overtime begins. New York pushing forward. They've got the self-destruct in there as well. No kills out of that one, but they do lose Meko
Poco
in
killed
the
him.
process. That was big, man. Now Philadelphia can push forward in the 6v5.
Yeah, Poco managed to hunt him down while his self-destruct was going off. That is a heads-up play by Poco.
Yeah, that's the type of thing you need to do if you're going to get any more distance here on this map.
But they're not. I mean, the thing is, the Siva's going to get back, and they need to pressure, but this Reinhardt is just standing there.
I mean, they're not walking forward. I don't know. They have the 6v5. The aggression just was not happening, though. EQO has a rally, going to use it right away to try to keep Sato alive, but now New York can come back in with their Transcendence as the rally starts to fade. A lot of damage from Nene, too. Mono getting a bit low health. The healing comes in. Oh, they lost Sato!
Bad
And there's the shatter! That is it. They don't even need it. New York, what a hold on Gibraltar.
And it was such a late swap, I think, for the Philadelphia Fusion onto the Reinhardt. And they never got the fight that they wanted because New York was just holding in this little area, even though they had a 6 versus 5 for a long time there. And they got the smart kill from Poco onto Meko during the self-destruct. They couldn't push. Like, they couldn't walk up. They didn't feel confident in doing that. So they got no payload progress. They were still, at the end of that map, in 2-fight territory to take the point.
The difficult thing about getting the payload stopped at that point, too, is that you've got those two little side corridors where you can just sit around the corner. You're not taking poke damage. If they walk forward, you've got the flank on them. It's just the worst position to be in as you run out of time on Gibraltar. I mean, you never see the payload get stopped there, though. That was weird. That was crazy.
And that's a clinic on how to play Ryan triple tank, triple support in that position. Like you're saying, because there is that room, basically, you have to walk up through a choke point while they have a 90-degree corner to hide behind.
Yeah.
So you have barrier advantage when you come in as the defender.
Just watching the end of that map here.
Yeah, I mean, look at the timing on that. Like, this team is so well coordinated. It's the instant Sato dies, the shatter animation starts from Mono.
Because if you're on New York, you know they're calling out the health of Sato. You know exactly when he's going to go down, and then you just get the easiest Earth Shatter in the world if you're New York.
It is an easy Earth Shatter. I'm just more impressed with how fast it happened after Sato died.
Well, that's just
it was the instant he died.
Yep. It's going to be a trick play from New York as they try to halt somebody out of the corridor and get the grab.
Just trying to win on one push. I mean, they don't have anywhere to go. And smart, Philadelphia Fusion not playing that position. There's no reason to. They are going to go with the Winston 3-3 again. Same thing with the NYXL. So Sato going to be lurking around the corner right here, trying to take a peek. They're switched to Reinhardt now because they know all they have to do is walk up. And the problem here is Sato has to generate a Primal Rage very fast because that's the only way they are going to get them off the payload successfully. I don't know if I like this from Philadelphia.
It's not the greatest position to get like a lot of cleave damage with the lightning gunning. Join it.
He's stunned.
Rather, Sato gets stunned. They push forward. Mono, maybe Mono in a little bit of trouble here as Philadelphia pushes forward. That said, Sato low as well. Libero down though. Looks like Philadelphia might be winning this first one. That said though, Mono did kill Poco, but
this is great for Sato. He's going to get a Primal out of this room. This is perfect for Philadelphia.
Got them all bottled up exactly where he wants them. He's got the Primal Rage and doesn't even need to use it. Good start for Philly, actually, on the defense.
I mean, this is a great start because now they can sort of use the Primal Rage to reposition the members of the XL. And if they're lucky, they can win this fight with just the Primal by getting a pickoff.
Yeah.
And they're not fooled right there as the NYXL do not manage to draw out the Primal Rage. So how's it going to be used? Sato from above.
He's waiting for it. Maybe a chance to just split the members of New York. Yeah, he's going to use it now. Trying to just split the team up a little bit. Mono does get the kill on the Neptuno to start things off.
Oh, shatter! Shatter! Huge shatter
as well. Can they follow it up, though? There's no Lucio on the Philadelphia side. He died right before he got his sound barrier. Now the grab comes in from New York, but they lose Jonak. Big fire strike from Mono through the middle of the grab, but now the grab comes in from Carpe, but there's nobody there to follow up. New York has eliminated everyone. Nene with the triple kill, and that is the end of the series. New York takes Gibraltar and takes the match.
Nicely done by the NYXL. I mean, it was going to be hard, obviously, for Philadelphia Fusion to do that. They won that first fight, managed to build the Primal, but unfortunately, another big shatter from Mono lays the blow. 14 shatter stuns on a map that didn't even go to point A on Gibraltar on either side. That's actually very significant for the amount of time that map was played.
I mean, again, it just comes down to the incredible heads-up play that New York has where, you know, they know what Sato's trying to do. He's trying to separate the team, get some kills, but you know what he's not doing? He's not throwing his shield down to block any Earth Shatters, anything like that. Again, you know, Mono finds those easy shatters and delivers New York the map there, along with all the damage coming out of Nene Zarya.
Yeah, that is the issue though, because if you don't pop Primal early, right?
Right.
If they're already on the payload, then you have to re-engage on the payload. But if you're in Primal, you can't drop Bubble to block the shatter. So you have to use it early in an engagement to disrupt them before everybody has to retake onto the cart.
Sure enough, New York with the win, and Danny standing by with Jonak to get some thoughts about that series.
Monty and Dua, thank you very much. What is up, everybody? I am here joined by the one and only Jonak from NYXL. Everybody make some noise. Great job. Great win for NYXL, as always. Now, your map win streak, unfortunately, came to an end today, but you guys are still undefeated. You guys are one of the top teams in the Overwatch League currently. Jonak, what do other teams have to do in order to beat NYXL? 뉴욕 팀을 이기려면 다른 팀이 좀 뭐를 해야 될까요? 아무래도 오늘 좀 그 맵 승리 이 연승은 좀 끝났지만 아직도 뭐 뉴욕이 강팀이죠. 최고의 팀인데 다른 팀들이 이기려면 뭘 해야 되나요?
다른 팀이 저희를 이기려면 그냥 더 노력하는 수밖에 없죠. 그냥 노력밖에 답이 없는 것 같은데.
어떤 노력이요?
그냥 게임을 많이 해야 되는 것도 있는데 그냥 개인 피지컬 올리는 게 제일 중요하다 생각합니다.
To all the other teams, what you guys have to do is just practice and get your mechanical skills up and just try harder to beat NYXL. Hopefully someone will beat you guys. 이길 거라고 생각하시나요? 다른 팀들이?
뭐라고요?
다른 팀들 중에 이길 수 있을 거라고 생각하는 팀이 있나요?
저희를요?
네.
저희를 이길 팀은 없지만 한 팀 딱 꼽아보자면 밴쿠버.
So I don't think it's highly unlikely that all the other teams are going to beat us, but if I have to really choose, it might be Vancouver Titans. Okay, one more question. Now, you're known as one of the best Zenyatta players, but also you've been popping off on Ana as well. Jonak, if you had to choose, Ana or Zen, who do you like better? Ana, Zen.
저는 아나를 더 좋아하고 왜냐하면 제냐타는 로봇이라 이게 좀 정이 좀 안 가고 아나는 그래도 인간이라서 정이 좀 가네요.
I'm gonna have to go with Ana because Zen's a robot and I don't have that personal relationship with a robot. I feel like Ana is I feel personally more close to a human being just like Ana. Alrighty, everybody, give it up for Jonak. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jonak. Casters, back to you guys.
Well, there you go. That was not the response I was expecting, but yeah, Jonak's thoughts on.
I mean,
Zen. What do you know?
If you want to beat NYXL, just practice. Just improve your mechanics and
Who
practice.
Knew? Well, who knew? Let's take a look at our.
Has been revealed.
Let's take a look at our player of the match by Omen by HP. It's going to be Jonak, not into robots. Hey, it worked for Lando. He's into on instead. He's getting the kills on the EQO.
I don't know really how to interpret that. I'm not going to think about it, though.
Don't worry about it, man.
What a great game, though, from Jonak. Was a little bit more quiet in the second half, but that was just some absurd Ana play that we saw. Going back to that Mei that he's so good at stalling with as well. Having an excellent day on both Zen and Ana. What do you think?
Hold up. Less damage than healing done. I have not seen that from Jonak in a long time.
That's true. He was on point with a lot of his transcendences today, though. And honestly, it's hard to fault him because he was our MVP of the 2018 season. Yeah. So you can only nitpick him so much. But if you did, it was his trance. If he has had better trances, more healing.
That's right. So thanks to our Disney XD audience for watching. Everybody else, stick around. San Francisco Shock versus Toronto Defiant coming up next on other stuff that you can watch the Overwatch League on. We'll see you then. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.